This is a rebrand video.
I should've known better.
Okay, not like that. In this video, we're going through a massive overhaul to this channel, my persona, and everything in between. That means new video styles, new shorts, and new content styles like animation, memes, and actually fleshed out tutorials. But don't worry, I'm still the same old Athalie. I'm basically going through a Pokemon evolution, if you will. New look, same me kind of vibes. And we're going to go through this journey together, so hopefully I can help you create your own persona online or simply get some inspiration to start your very own YouTube journey. I took a bit of a break with drawing and social media because I needed to rethink my purpose here. I wanted to bring in the other 50% of my personality because restricting myself to a certain filter was seriously draining and way too restrictive. The other 50% of my personality is unhinged, chaotic goofiness. Only my husband and mods really know that side of me. So with the weeks you haven't seen me, 75% of that has been me racking my brain on the best way to glow up my channel and other social media accounts by incorporating that other side of me now that I'm comfortable with the whole content creation thing. I also want to start animating seriously and making memes for short form content. I truly love drawing memes and I wanted to start focusing on that, and apparently Facebook of all places ate that one meme up like Thanksgiving dinner. Thanks Facebook, I guess? But ultimately, my main focus is efficiency, education, comedy, and sprinkling in life lessons whenever I can in my videos. Athalie, we're not here for you to ramble about your YouTube strategy. We want to see the new look. That will come in time, darling. First things first, let's address the elephant in the room, my old persona. This girl needed a glow up. I mean, I loved my old persona so much that I kept her going for almost a year, but she had her flaws. In the beginning, I wanted to challenge myself with a highly complex color palette, but over time, it started to become very draining. I want to start animating seriously soon for shorts as well as illustrate funny moments here on my long form channel like I mentioned before. That meant to keep me from having an aneurysm from the workload, simplifying my character, but still keeping the story and charm that I worked so hard to create for her. Another thing, her proportions are way off. I've improved an insane amount because of social media. The likes and subscribes are very motivating, even more now that I'm monetized on TikTok, YouTube, and Twitch. So I worked very hard on improving my art for not only you, but for me as well. Since I've improved so much, that means I could see all the little flaws with my previous persona's design. Her head was too big, for one, and another is that my old look attracted kids. And even though I love my rainbows and cuteness, I do not make content for children. I just want to say that for the YouTube algorithm gods watching this. I make content for adults ages 18 to 30 years old. At least that was my goal. But because my proportions and colors were very kid-like at first, I shouldn't have been nearly as surprised at how many children became part of my subscriber base. Since I'm a mom myself, yes, I'm a mama, you can calm down now, I know how important it is to be careful with wording around children. And that added to me feeling like I had to increase my filter. Again, that was extremely draining and restrictive for me, so I wanted my new personas to still be cute to help heal my inner child, but also not look like a fucking child. Finally, I am an art channel, but I still want to bring tons of comedy and silliness, because that's who I am, and that's also what I love to watch. I don't just want to be an educational channel, you know? I also want to be comfortable being goofy. On another note, this will be a 3-part series, I'm pretty sure. I wanted to put this all into one video, but there is so much footage that I think splitting it up will be both easier on me to edit and easier on you to watch. And gods, did I need that little split up of videos. I'll probably talk about this in a full video, but these last few weeks have been hell on earth for me and my little family. So mentally, I am not all the way there. But enough with the rambling. I know what you want to see. Let's dive into the character creation process. So the actual drawing process was grueling and intense, to say the least. It's actually one of my main reasons that caused me to get burnt out and take a week-long break from everything drawing and social media. I'm generally ambitious to a fault, and that can sometimes backfire. But I wanted to be thorough with every part and piece of her, from her eyes, face shape, ears, whether she had horns or not, all of the above. Not only because I wanted my new persona to be fleshed out and last a lot longer than my old one, but also because muscle memory is a huge factor in drawing, and I wanted to stay on model as much as I could anytime I drew myself. During this entire process, I implemented the biggest tool in my artist tool bag, friends, and family. It's extremely important to have a second pair of eyes when you're working on a big project, because when you look at something for so long, you kind of go blind to the little flaws. Seeing how people felt when they saw my persona with fresh eyes really helped the drawing process along. I highly recommend finding an art Discord for critiques so you can get those second pair of eyes. I would have missed so many little mistakes if not for my amazing friends. My first project was creating a character sheet. Something that I can use as a reference, not something that was necessarily pretty. That way I can look back and make sure the proportions and colors were right when I was drawing her. I started with a few different versions of the face, whether I would change my species, keep the horns or ears, little things like that. I made a few different versions and narrowed each part down slowly with the help of my super amazing friends. Did I mention they're amazing yet? Well, they are, okay? I was on the fence about keeping the horns or not because I was worried that the detail wasn't as needed. But I was surprised to find out that everyone loved my horns, so I decided to keep them in the end. We're not going for a JoJo Siwa level rebrand over here after all. I want to keep most of the elements from my old persona, just, give her a bit of a makeover and make her easier to draw quickly. After the head shapes, I moved down to the eye shapes. My mouths and noses are pretty similar for each character I draw. I should probably expand on that a bit more, but I try to keep those the same for this character. I landed on a similar eye shape to my old persona, just a bit smaller and rounder to emphasize the cuteness, but also making her a little bit older. Now for the body shape. I personally have an hourglass figure and I am pretty skinny. I'm extremely grateful for having a high metabolism and I wanted to represent that in my persona at first, but I love pear-shaped body types so much, so I eventually landed on that. Big thighs, littler boobas like a B cup. It gave her a very cute look and clothes were easy to draw on her with this body type, at least for me. I was torn when it came to the skin color though. I toyed around with the idea that she would have purple or pink skin to show off the more spacey vibes to her, because she's a fae, yeah, but I also love space and wanted to implement that in her character. I finally decided to use my real life skin tone, pale as hell, because even though she doesn't look anything like me, I still wanted to have some elements of my real life self sprinkled in, like the skin tone and especially my little vitiligo hair patches, which you'll see in just a little bit. The hair was extremely difficult. I was experimenting and it was split down the line on 2 different hair types. I initially drew her with one of them, but ended up changing it last minute to the other, bob with little pigtails, to be a little bit more similar to my old persona. This hair type is complicated, but luckily, because of the muscle memory I gained from drawing her over and over again, helped me recreate her hairstyle easier and faster. Plus, drawing the basic shapes of the hair instead of detailing the individual hair strands made it a lot faster to draw. I, of course, kept my real-life vitiligo hair stripe in my persona because I am still very proud to have that little unique feature. Tying back into the head shape a bit, I was torn on changing her species. Fae creatures seem to be a bit vague, so I tried a vampire to match my husband's persona, as well as labeling her as a tiefling. But after showing off the progress to my friends, they both missed the horns and also said tieflings had racist connotations. I have no idea what that means or why tieflings have racist connotations. Feel free to let me know in the comments. But I inevitably went back to Fae creature as a species just to be safe. By the way, what I mean by Fae creature is my persona is partially inspired by the live-action Maleficent movies. Something about the Fae in that series was really intriguing to me. Fae can be a lot of different things, and I feel very attached to Maleficent as a character since I was a teenager. Also, I like how Fae are chaotic neutral-ish. They are mischievous, but they can also be very helpful. I feel like that's a lot of who I am. Mischievous but helpful. Except instead of chaotic neutral, I'd say I'm more chaotic good. This will be an amazing reference for the future, and it has already helped me a ton when it came to my PNG tuber and other concept art for the channel. I highly recommend it if you plan on using a character a ton, doing a character sheet like this. The side and front angles of the character, the head angles, and some expressions. Now the clothes. Ugh, the clothes. It was hard, guys. A good day or two was spent just looking through Pinterest. I usually wear pajamas because I'm a work from home girly. I only need 2 or 3 outfits for outside time when we need to go on errands or outings. So I didn't have a ton to work with in my own personal wardrobe. I went through so many different outfit sketches until I finally gave up and used images from Pinterest and just Frankenstein my own outfit. Mentally puzzle piecing in each little feature that stuck out to me from my Pinterest binge until I was happy with it. She has these cute little shorts with stitches and bows. Attached to the shorts are thick suspenders. I didn't want to go for a full overall look because I also love crop tops, so I wanted to implement that as well. The t-shirt itself has elastic at the bottom, so it's snug to her torso, giving her more emphasis to that little crop top look. I also personally enjoy chunky short sleeves with a lack of a better wording to it. I personally love the comfort of these types of shirts in real life, and I also think it suits her silhouette. I wanted to keep the little undershirt sleeve thingies too from my old model because it gave just a little bit more detail with very little additional work. She has very simple shoes, but that's because it's not going to be seen often. And finally, looking at the jewelry, I kept the choker necklace from my last persona, added some ear jewelry shaped like stars, and added a bit of a moon necklace. This is to tie in with the spacey vibes I wanted to have with this channel. Oh, and also, you've seen it by now, but the little star clips on her pigtails were another cute little touch that I absolutely fell in love with. Now that I have the design down, the colors were another story. Obviously, I had to limit my color palette to make life easier and to bring an older vibe to her. I went through so many iterations, but finally landed on a cyan or teal, a pale yellow, and reddish pinks. I didn't want to go full green because using green screens would make half of her invisible, but also didn't want to go full blue and pink. I support my trans viewers any day, but I also didn't want to look like a walking trans fag because your girl is cis. That didn't feel right. I also worked out really well because cyan and pink are really close to complementary colors, and adding the yellow makes it more of a triadic color scheme. I was super happy with it in the end. But when I finished her first version to put on my discords for critique, they pointed out a huge flaw that I missed completely: value. I lowered the saturation down all the way and found that they were absolutely right. All of the colors were extremely close in value. All I had to do was darken up some of the colors, and it seems super easy to fix. They also mentioned that I look like a Pokemon trainer though, and I am so down for that. I spent a long time going through every single detail of this character. I had my ups and I had my downs. Going through this project was intense. It was totally not necessary either, but I felt like it was important for me to get a good refresher on how I want to go forward with social media from here on out. Not only to make things easier for me in future animations, but also give me a bit of a dopamine boost to keep going strong with this video creation stuff. I really needed this reset because I learned so much about myself, what I was doing wrong, and what I could do to make this channel so much better for you. It hasn't even been a year yet, but we have come so far. I never thought we would grow this fast. And on my short form channel, my long form channel, TikTok, Instagram, Kara, you name it. I'm still learning though, and I think I really needed this glow up. But don't go away yet. We have gotten to the best part. I have a little secret I need to share with you. Enough with the suspense. Now is the moment. It is time to evolve! Hi there, it's still me. I just look a little different. If you're watching this video from me right now, you might see that my channels are slowly changing because right now I'm updating everything for all my social media accounts as fast as I can before this video is over. If you want, feel free to leave a comment down to simply brag about your own persona's OCs, and I'd love to hear what you enjoy about your characters, and I'm sure others will as well. So yeah, we went through a lot of character design in this video. In the next episode, we'll go over the graphic design portion of setting up my new brand, and hopefully I can teach you a thing or two on how to do it yourself. The third episode, we'll be going over creating my PNG tuber in a more thorough tutorial-based format, and I'll be adding 7 different toggles if PNG tuber lets me. So make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. I hope this little surprise I've been teasing for the last month has been worth it, but see you in the next video. I love you. Bye-bye.
Karma's a bitch. I should've known better.
This is so stupid. I can't believe I just sang on the internet like that. I want to give a really quick shout out to Shanae Draws. She is my very first YouTube member. Feel free, if you want to support the channel, to become a member. It'll help me out a lot, and maybe hopefully I can do this full time one day.